Hello students, in this lecture we will start new chapter overview of sensors, transducers and their characteristics specification. So this is the second chapter and important chapter in this mechatronics. So we will start in that. First topic is selection criteria for force, pressure, temperature, motion transducer. So, as chapter name indicates, sensors and transducers overview. First, we will define sensor. So, according to the Instrument Society of America, sensors can be defined as a device which provides a usable output in response to specified measurement. Provides a usable output in response to a specified measurement. Here the output is usually an electrical quantity and measurement is a physical quantity. Second definition of sensor: element which produces a signal relating to the quantity being measured is called as a sensor. The next is a transducer. Definition of transducer: element that when some physical change experience a related change is known as a transducer. We can differentiate between sensor and transducer, so your concept will be clear. So first definition: a sensor is a device which detects one form of energy and converts the data to electrical energy. A transducer is a device which converts one form of energy into another. So sensors are in fact a type of a transducer. Function of sensor: a sensor is a device which detects a physical quantity and produces an electric signal based on strength of the quantity measured. Transducer is a device which converts one form of energy into another form. In next, sensing element. Say in sensor, sensing element is itself, and in transducer, sensing element plus associated circuitry is there. Then feedback. Here in sensor nearly measures a quantity and cannot by itself give feedback to the system. Transducer: a transducer can convert between any forms of energy. They can be used to provide feedback to the system. So transducer. So this diagram also represent the what is transducer, as previously we have mentioned, but input signal converted into other signal, output signal we will get. So transducer is a combination of sensor plus some sort of some signal conditioning is there. Yeah, so sensor, only sensor, and then we have previously defined sensor, but transducer is a combination of sensor plus some signal conditioning. So in the day-to-day life in our industry or your at your home place or for security purpose, different types of sensors are used. So you can observe thermistor, IR sensor, then gyroscope sensor, phototransistor, moisture sensor, then n number of sensors: smoke sensor, gas sensor, flex sensor, humidity sensor, metal detector sensor, LDR sensor. Okay, so in your day-to-day life, n number of sensors we are using. Also in your projects, you are using different types of sensors. So first topic in this also mentioned in syllabus is a sensor oblique transducer specifications. So for selecting any sensor or transducer, we have to define its specifications. So according to need, we can search or we can use the sensor. So here transducer or measurement system are not perfect system. Mechatronics design engineer must know the capability and shortcoming of a transducer or measurement system to properly assess its performance. There are number of performance related parameters of a transducer or measurement system. These parameters are called as a sensor specifications. So sensor specifications inform the user to about a deviation from the ideal behavior of the sensor. So following are different types of parameters or specifications required. You can say specifications or performance terminology using these sensors and transducer. So before selecting any sensor oblique transducer, we have to consider these parameters, and according to that we have to select sensor or transducer. So first is a range. The range of sensor indicates the limits between which the input can vary. So for example, thermocouple for the measurement of temperature might have be a range of 25 to 225 degrees centigrade. So this is a range. Then next is a span. The span is a difference between the maximum and minimum values of the input. That is a, you can say, difference between maximum and minimum values of the input. Then next is the error. It is the difference between result of the measurement and the true value of the quantity being measured. A sensor might give a displacement reading of 29.8 mm when the actual displacement had been 30 mm. Okay, so it is a difference between result of the measurement and the true value of the quantity being measured. So these are the parameters for technical specification. The next parameter for sensor oblique transducer is accuracy. Accuracy defines the closeness of the agreement between actual measurement result and the true value of the measurement. It is often expressed as a percentage of the full range output or full scale deflection. The next is a sensitivity. Sensitivity of a sensor is defined as a ratio of change in output value of a sensor to the per unit change in input value that causes the output change. For example, a general purpose thermocouple may have sensitivity of 41 microvolt per degree centigrade. So these are the important parameters while considering any sensor. Next technical parameter is a non-linearity. The non-linearity indicates the maximum deviation of the actual measured curve of a sensor from ideal curve. This in that figure shows a somewhat exaggerated relationship between the ideal or least square feet line and the actual measured or calibration line. Here diagram is not shown, but non-linearity indicates the maximum deviation of the actual measured curve of a sensor from ideal curve. Non-linearity in percentage is given by maximum deviation in input to the maximum full-scale input. The static nonlinearity is dependent upon environmental factors including temperature, vibration, acoustic noise level, and humidity. Therefore, it is important to know under what condition the specification is valid. Hysteresis. The hysteresis is an error of a sensor which is defined as the maximum difference in output at any measurement value within the sensor's specified range when approaching the point first with increasing and then with decreasing the input parameter. So hysteresis curve is here not showing, but hysteresis shows the hysteresis error might have occurred during measurement of a temperature using thermocouple. The hysteresis error value is normally specified as positive or negative percentage of the specified input range. The next technical parameter is a resolution. Resolution is the smallest detectable incremental change of the input parameter that can be detected in the output signal. Resolution can be expressed either as a proportion of the full scale reading or in absolute terms. For example, if a LVDT sensor measures a displacement up to 20 mm and it provides an output as a number between 1 and 100, then resolution of the sensor device is a zero point 0.2 mm. Then stability. So stability is also important parameter while selecting sensor or transducer. So meaning that is stability is the ability of a sensor device to give same output when used to measure a constant input over a period of a time. Means it should provide a constant output. The term drift is used to indicate the change in output that occurs over a period of a time. It is expressed as a percentage of full range output. Then dead or band time. The dead or band or dead space of a transducer is a range of input values for which there is no output. So we are not getting output. Is called as the dead time of a sensor device is the time duration from the application of an input until the output begins to respond or change. Then repeatability. It specifies the ability of a sensor to give same output for repeated application of a same input value. Means if you are giving the same input, output is giving same. That is a repeatedly output, we will get the output same. Then it is called as a repeatability. Repeatability is equal to maximum minus minimum values given into 100 divided by full range. Then response time. Next is a response time. Response time describes the speed of change in the output on a stepwise change of the measurer. It is always specified with an indication of input step and the output range for which response time is defined. Then, as previously mentioned, these are the n number of technical parameters we have to consider while selecting the any sensor oblique transducer. So certain features which have been considered when we choose a sensor. So they are given below. Accuracy, it should be high. Stability, maintained under normal condition. Then environmental condition usually has a limit for temperature and humidity. Range, measurement limit of sensor. Then calibration, essential for most of the measuring devices as the reading changes with time. Then resolution, smallish increment detected by the sensor. Then cost should be low. Power consumption also low. Repeatability, that is as previously mentioned, reading that varies repeatedly measured under the same environment. So next, pressure sensor selection criteria. A pressure transducer is used to convert a certain value of pressure into its corresponding mechanical or electrical output. Measurement, if pressure is of a considerable importance in a process industries. Pressure can be measured as the force exerted over a certain area. So pressure is equal to force per unit area. Pressure is not an independent variable as it is derived from force and area, and it is not ideal as it depends on other factors like elevation, fluid density, temperature, flow velocity, and so on. So first sensor we are taking is a pressure sensor, and previous parameters are also important. These are some additional parameters while selecting the pressure sensor. So it is very important to ensure compatibility between the pressure or force sensor and the application in which it is used. The following should be considered before sensor selection is made. That is, we have to consider material, chemicals, concentration, temperature, exposure time, type of exposure, criteria for failure, then general information such as application environment, protection of the device and other foreign substances in the area. Then application and measurement type. Common type of pressure measurement include absolute, gauge, differential, vacuum, bidirectional, and seal gauge. The application will determine the most appropriate measurement type. So according to application, we have to consider the technical parameters. Then next is a pressure range. Probably the single most important decision in selecting a pressure transducer is a range. One must keep in mind two conflicting considerations: temperature range and installation environment. This is also important parameter in the pressure sensor selection. Extremes in the temperature or vibration will limit what transmitters will function properly. For temperature extremes, thin film technology is superior. The extreme temperature also create errors in the output of transducer. So these are the parameters while selecting pressure sensor. Pressure transducer selection criteria, in that pressure connection is also important criteria. Then electrical connection, output signal, this is also important parameter. That is, sensor must generate a measurable sensor signal, both linear and proportional to the applied pressure. And next is a temperature sensor selection criteria. So whether when we are selecting temperature sensor, we have to consider different parameters. That is a temperature range, then accuracy, response time, then stability, linearity, and sensitivity. So temperature range for RTD is a 200 degrees centigrade to 850 degrees centigrade, and for thermocouple this is a range mentioned. Accuracy for RTD is mentioned plus or minus 0.001 degree farad to 0.1 degree farad, and for thermocouple this is a range. Then response time is moderate. Here for thermocouple is a fast. Okay, so stability, stable over a long period, not as stable. Okay, linearity is best. Here for thermocouple it is a moderate. Then sensitivity, high sensitive, and this is a low sensitive. So these are the parameters while selecting any temperature sensor. So other parameters in detail are the temperature range as previously mentioned, accuracy, repeatability or stability, vibration, then response time, sensitivity, then expectancy or replacement cost, then temperature range, package size, then fast thermal response time, fast electrical response time, heat sinking. This is also important parameter. So in temperature, when it increases, then heat sinking at back side is required. Small thermal mass, robustness is also important parameter while selecting the temperature sensor. Then compatibility with harsh environment, that is in the magnetic field it should operate, then in ionizing radiation it should also operate, in also ultra high vacuum it should also operate, then vibration or mechanical shock it should also operate, then thermal shock, compatibility with sources of errors, thermal EMF, self-heating, noise pickup. So n number of parameters are to be we have to consider while selecting the temperature sensor. These are also additional parameters while selecting the temperature sensor: high sensitivity, high accuracy, then high repeatability, low power dissipation, ease of use or low cost. This is also important parameter. Then this diagrammatic representation shows that is different parameters we have to consider for temperature sensor selection: heat expansion parameter, then indicator materials, then thermal voltage, then changes in PN junction. Okay, then resistance change. According to that, different types of temperature sensors we have to select. So in this sensor selection criteria, we'll divide these parameters, that is either economic, environmental or sensor characteristics, as this economic term indicates cost, availability, lifetime. In environmental conditions such as size, power consumption, interference and sensitivity, and in sensor characteristics, as previously mentioned, all these terms: sensitivity, range, stability, error, response time. So all these parameters should be considered while selecting the temperature sensor. The next sensor is a motion sensor. The term motion sensor can be used to refer to any kind of sensing system which is used to detect motion. Motion word indicates to detect any motion. Motion of any object or motion of human beings. Motion sensor is also called as a motion detector. Motion sensors are commonly used in security systems as triggers for automatic lights or remote alarms and similar applications. Motion sensor selection criteria. So these are the criteria for selecting the motion sensor. So first criteria is the type of motion, that is either motion is a linear or rotary motion. Then type dependence of motion, that is either static or dynamic motion. Then magnitude of motion, that is motion is either static or dynamic. Then magnitude of motion, that is a few inches to more. Then physical contact, parameters to be measured, which parameters we have to measure in motion, that is a displacement parameter or velocity or pressure. Okay, here comma you can give. Then required regulation, available pressure, environmental condition, power required. All these parameters we have to consider while selecting a motion sensor. So different types of motion sensors are there. According to that, the way in which a motion sensor works typically depends on the type of sensor being used, which often depends on the device that uses the sensor. There are two basic types of motion sensors: active sensors and passive sensors. So types of motion sensors. The way in which a motion sensor works typically depends on the type of sensors being used, which often depends on the device that uses a sensor. There are two basic types of motion sensors, that is either active sensor or passive sensor. Types of motion sensing, that is when we are selecting a motion sensor, we have to consider types of motion sensing. That is, first is local motion sensing, ultrasonic motion sensing, or either microwave motion sensing. According to that, we have to select the motion sensor. Then next, local motion sensing. So in that local motion sensing, infrared light is a spectrum of non-visible. For humans, at least, light that is emitted by object when they produce heat. Infrared motion sensor system are one of the cheapest and most reliable system available. An infrared motion detector uses infrared sensing to detect motion in a given area. The use of infrared technology usually allows such a detector to only pick up on a heat. Infrared sensors are characterized by high sensitivity, low cost, and are widely used. An infrared motion detector can also be set to only pick up on a certain level of heat, making it possible to ignore small animals. So this is an important parameter for selecting the motion sensor. Then next, ultrasonic motion sensing. Ultrasonic motion detector use sound waves to detect motion. If movement is detected, the sound wave pattern is disrupted and alarm is signaled. It senses motion by analyzing sound waves in its environment. These frequencies are generally inaudible to humans and most animals and do not pass through most objects. Then microwave motion sensing. Microwave motion sensor systems send out microwaves that bounce off an object and back to the sensor. So these sensors then reads the frequency of the returning waves. If an object is moving, the sensor receives different microwaves than the ones it sent out, signifying movement and setting off the alarm. So motion sensor is basically an electronic device, okay, so which detects the physical movement of any object in the present environment. It has a capability of detecting the kinetic motion in real time. A motion sensor is also known as a motion detector. So according to need, we can select the motion sensor. Either it is required, that is either for detecting micro motion, or as previously mentioned, infrared detection. So n number of parameters we can select in a motion sensor. So types of motion sensor as previously mentioned, PIR or micro, as previously this we have mentioned, we can skip here. So passive infrared, micro, motion detector sensor as previously mentioned, so we can skip this slide. Then how to choose right motion sensor or detector. So selection of appropriate motion sensor or detector completely depends on the type of application. As previously mentioned, type of application is very important. According to that, we can select the motion sensor. So type of application, this figure shows that is a motion sensor required in either conference room or control sensor we can use in the conference room. Then automatic verbal address system, in that according to need we can use the motion sensor. This figure shows the lightning control for vending machine, okay. Then amusement park facilities, for that we can use then motion cam or monitor camera, for that we can use the motion sensor. Then control of air conditioner, at that time you can use sensor. And these are the examples. According to need we can use the motion sensor, okay. So this figure shows the different types of the motions, that is a vehicle parking, or yeah, on the road we can use motion sensor, okay. Then for different types of uh, according to application needs, we can use the motion sensor. So this vehicle is moving, so this figure shows the that is the in-house motions and outside environmental motions are mentioned here. So according to that, we can select proper motion sensor. And also we can select motion sensor, either is a microwave related sensor, or microwave motion sensor, or other different motion sensors. So this figure also explains the which type of a motion sensor we can use, that is for indoor applications, okay. This is a one home automation or home structure is mentioned here for vehicle. Then also energy consumption purpose के लिए, control के लिए we can use the motion sensor, okay. So for different parameters or different applications we can use the different motion sensor. So this is a selection criteria. According to needs we can use. So in this lecture we have covered up the n number of parameters while selecting the any sensor. Firstly, we have considered the different parameters, that is a range, span, then sensitivity, accuracy, response time, date time, okay. So these parameters are important while selecting the any sensor. Then one by one we have studied, that is a definition of sensors, transducer we have mentioned, also difference between them we have mentioned. And then one by one we have mentioned selection criteria for pressure sensor. Then for next pressure sensor के बाद temperature sensor we have mentioned n number of parameters. And also lastly we have mentioned the motion sensor parameters, that is to select motion sensor, which parameters we are considering. Okay, so in exam, explain for selection criteria for following sensors, that is either temperature sensor or pressure sensor or motion sensor. Such type of a question when asked, then you can theoretically explain in detail. Okay, so thank you. In detail we have covered. You can revise in your notebook also. Thank you. We'll stop here.